Our Latin America correspondent Guillermo Galdos has this report.
Ante el pueblo de Venezuela, juro.
Sworn in after an election his opponents say he lost by a landslide. Nicolas Maduro today began his third term as Venezuela's president. Pomp and ceremony masking the violence and repression that's kept him in place 6 months on from the disputed vote. In typical style, he used his speech to attack critics abroad.
No me ha colocado como presidente.
It's not the government of the United States who've made me president, or the pro-imperialist governments of the Latin American right wing. I am of the people, and my power emanates from the history and people of this country.
While July's results were rubber-stamped by Venezuela's electoral body and top court, Maduro has spent the last decade stuffing the country's institutions with allies. The opposition say they have overwhelming evidence this inauguration was stolen, and much of the international community agrees. For the president's supporters who took to the streets yesterday, it's all part of an American plot to topple him and kill the socialist revolution.
The United States knows we're warriors here, and we're moving forward. Just like Obama said, Venezuelans are a different breed, an extraordinary breed. The Americans are scared. They can't deal with us.
Maduro's opponents were also rallying in Caracas, defying what the UN has condemned as a fierce repression that's seen thousands locked up and dozens killed. While many opposition figures have fled the country, Maria Corina Machado decided to stay. Now the figurehead for this movement, she risked arrest by addressing supporters for the first time since August. They repay her with adoration.
We will fight until the end. Maria, I love you. We love you. Until the end, we'll fight for everyone.
Machado slips away on a motorbike, but shortly afterwards, news her supporters had feared: she's been detained. The government quickly denies all responsibility, and after a few hours, she's released. It's a confusing episode designed to intimidate those who stand up to the regime. For now, the man who says he won the election is out of reach. Edmundo González, a former diplomat, was the opposition's candidate in July. Now in exile, he's been rallying international support, meeting with regional leaders, including President Biden this week.
It's
clear that this regime represents a threat to the entire hemisphere. That's why we Venezuelans are determined to persevere in this struggle until the end.
Nearly 12 years since Maduro took power, the socialist project he inherited from Hugo Chavez has long since turned into a nightmare for many Venezuelans. Poverty is rife, and nearly 8 million people, around a quarter of the population, are thought to have left the country. This, remember, a nation with the world's largest oil reserves. For those who've stayed and faced the regime's brutality, the scars run deep.
Unfortunately, the regime has planted too much hate in the Venezuelan people, and the Venezuelan people will pay for that.
This man, known as the abuelo or grandfather, is a former political prisoner who now helps support detainees. Today he's meeting a 17-year-old who was freed in December after months of torture. For this young man, abuelo's words of comfort are a release. How many more will be left broken by another 6 years of Maduro?
Guillermo Galdos.